In this week's episode, we take a look at behind the scenes of number matching, the all-new upgrade for multi-factor authentication, and specifically we're going to look at behind the scenes and how to get set up. So if you're ready to learn, let's go. Greetings everybody, welcome back to the channel, so nice to see you. Andy here, Microsoft MVP, as well as a Microsoft certified trainer. On this episode, we're going to take a look at number matching, and specifically we're going to look at behind the scenes of exactly what you need to do in Microsoft Entra in order to get it set up. Now, if you've not subscribed to the channel, and I've noticed that only 23% of you are currently subscribed, come on, get on board, bump that subscribe button, ring that bell up there, and come and join our great community that I'm trying to build out. And of course, questions, comments about this or any of my other sessions, of course, just get them down below as well. Now, this week I asked you in my survey, do you think I should produce shorts? And let's face it, there's a lot of pressure on YouTubers at the moment to go ahead and produce shorts. And I'm going to dip my toe in the water in the coming weeks, and I'd really love your feedback on that. All right, so I think without any more jibber jabber, I think it's about time we get on board with the demos and take a look at some of the cool authentication features that Microsoft is now included in Microsoft Entra, or as we know it, Azure Active Directory 2.0. Ready to go? Let's check it out. Now, there's no doubt that multi-factor authentication can reduce password attacks in an organization by up to 99%. But when you look at this, and this is the traditional Microsoft Authenticator app, this is a challenge response. You have a time-based token. So what is Microsoft doing in order to change this? So rather than a time-based token, if you log in from an unknown location, you'll now be presented with a different challenge. And this is called a number challenge. In essence, you need to type in the number that you see on your screen in an authenticated device. And more than that, it will confirm your location as well. So the idea is it's a very different challenge. It not only challenges you to enter the correct number, it's also checking your location. So if you're logging in from, let's say, London or Edinburgh or Oslo, and the challenge actually says that you're in Hong Kong or Singapore, that's not a good sign. So the idea is that you would very quickly be able to reject that, and it definitely improves security. But just how does it work behind the scenes? Well, let's jump into Microsoft Entra and take a look. So here we are in Microsoft Entra's Azure Active Directory. And as you can see here, Microsoft are warning you that there's an upcoming number matching enforcement. So from 27th of February 2023, everybody is going to have to switch this on, I'm afraid. So multi-factor authentication, of course, can reduce the chances of you being hacked by up to 99%. And apparently, by switching or enabling this feature on, it can take it up to 99.9%. So that's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do here is if I come into Protect and Secure, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to come into my authentication methods. Now, in here, Microsoft had been going wild recently with the number of increased authentication methods. So it's absolutely fantastic to see certificate-based authentication. For so long, we've been forced to use the old ADFS or Active Directory Federation services. So if you're in hybrid, this is something that's been preventing users fully moving to the cloud. So now, of course, if you want to use things like smart cards and so on, now we finally do have an option in Azure and 365. We also have a new preview of email one-time passwords here. So again, this is a really nice technology, especially if you're using things like consumer goods and things like that. You might find that useful. You know, I'm never a fan of voice calls. A couple of years ago, Kevin Mitnick did a session on this, and he says they could potentially be hacked. Not that they have been, but they could potentially be hacked. Again, there's also support for third-party OAuth tokens. So OAuth tokens, open authentication, of course, one-time passcodes and things like that, really useful. SMS, of course, if you want to use SMS messaging, always useful. And we've also seen FIDO keys as well. But it's the Microsoft Authenticator what's really grabbing my interest today. So I'm going to come in here, and you can see at the moment I've gone ahead and configured this for just a couple of groups. And within here I've got some options. So do I want to enable passwordless authentication? So if you're using that YubiKey, or do you want to just push notifications? So you've got the choices there. I'm going to go ahead and configure. Now you'll notice here that little warning about number matching here. So allow users to use one-time passcodes. Again, that's currently on. These options may change soon because, of course, the Authenticator is going to be pushing out this number matching. So again, do you want to enable number matching? So again, I could just set this to either Microsoft Managed, or I could just go ahead and enable it now if I want to. So I'll go ahead and I'll do it for Microsoft Managed. So do I want to push this out for all my users or just selected groups of users? And do remember, you can also include a particular user. Let's say it was what we call a break glass account in Azure. So the break glass account, of course, is an admin account that doesn't have multi-factor authentication. The worst case scenario, something goes horribly wrong, you can still get back into your system. Now, as well as number matching, there are a couple of additional security features that we can have. So in the past, you would have just received a time-based code that gave you a minute to enter a code number, but it never really told you what application was being attempted. So now we can come in here and we can switch either Microsoft Managed, or you can enable it for all users. So that means that when you get a notification, it's going to pop up and it's going to say, hey, you're using Microsoft Office, you're using Microsoft Azure. Is this the app that you're using? And more than that, we can also choose the geographic location as well. So the geographic location, if it's supported, of course, very, very useful, increasing security, by the way. So if you're trying to access, or if somebody is trying to access your account, they need to log in from let's say they log in from an unknown location, then the prompt is going to come up on your mobile device and it's going to say, hey, are you logging in from Johannesburg attempting into Microsoft Azure? Well, right away, if you're in London, you know that that's not the case, and you could very quickly reject that. All right, so these together really make a major improvement in security. So we would definitely go ahead and set those up here. Okay, so as I say, definitely take a look at those improvements in the Microsoft Authenticator app there. Now, there's just one other little thing that I just want to mention. We also have something here called authentication strengths. And I actually covered this recently in one of my videos, so definitely check this out. So what we have by default, you have got 3 different versions of multi-factor authentication, and some of these can be customized, of course. So I can go in and you can see I've created one recently. I can actually go in to the authentication strength. I can give it a name and you can choose which authentication methods you're going to support. And this is particularly powerful when it comes to the likes of conditional access. So in conditional access, of course, you've gone ahead, you've created your policy. And one of the things that we now have is when you come down, you've set your conditions. So when I come down to the grant option here, so by default, it's saying require multi-factor authentication. But you can see we also have this authentication strengths preview option here. So I can deselect this one and I can click this one and I can now choose my authentication strength. Isn't that cool? So you can tailor your authentication requirements to exactly what you need. Now, just before I leave this, if I come back to the overview page here, so I'm just going to come out of this and click into this. Just a quick reminder of, again, that number matching enforcement. You can learn more. This is a fantastic article, by the way, docs.microsoft.com or learn.microsoft.com. Either way, it'll take you to the same place. And you can see it's got a complete training guide here on exactly everything you need in order to get this set up and working. So there you go. Number matching, a real enhancement to multi-factor authentication. So there you have it, number matching along with some major enhancements in the authentication arena in Microsoft Entra and Microsoft Azure. Hey, listen, I really hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, then please go ahead, bump the like button up there. It really does make a difference to my channel. Hey, and if you've not subscribed, well, come on board. Bump that subscribe button, ring the bell, and come on and join our great community, as we love to have you. All right, questions, comments, of course, as always, get them down below. And until next time, thanks so much. I'll see you soon. Hey, thanks so much for dropping by today. Here's a couple of videos that you may enjoy. And while you're here, go ahead, click on the subscribe button and you won't miss out.